Hi, my name is Aneel Aziz and my student ID is VSS39109. I'll be doing the presentation for the assignment that is for H15020 Corporate Accounting T2 2020. Course instructor is Dr. Khokan Bepari, and I'm very thankful for your support in all the tutorials and the classes. The topic of the presentation is issues in cash flow statement. The objective of the assignment was basically to provide the students about a clear understanding about the income statement and the cash flow statements and use of cash flow statements to comprehend different key business decisions taken by the management. There were two parts in the assignment. Part A highlighted the importance of the content of the income and the cash flow statement for the investors. Part B, we will discuss depth analysis on the major sources, the use of the cash, trends in cash flow for each firm, major reasons for the differences between net profit after tax and cash flow from operations, an evaluation on the capability of each firm to generate enough cash to meet its capital expenditure, and the generation of excess cash and its usage of working capital accounts by the companies. We will also see that what elements are affecting the cash flow statement, capital expenditures, net borrowing, working capital accounts, and the trends in the dividends. Lastly, there would be an entire evaluation of the financial strengths of each company, and on such basis, a company is selected for lending purposes. So let's start with it. Uh, the first thing was to give details about the income statement. So as per the profitability defines the entity's ability of earning income. However, different relevant measures can be computed for an assessment, indulging the net sales to asset ratios and the total assets earned, etc. So this is how the income statement works on. I have also looked into the literature review on importance of the information through which the analysis of the operating income and the investor estimates the capability of paying interest, taxes, and other expenditures occurred by the company. And after the analysis of the operating income and the net profit, the decision either to pay the dividends or not is taken by the company. As written in Biddle and Choi 26, findings concluded that the set of income components showed that the income reporting more components introduction uh, introduction will help the users and enhance the decision-making usefulness. The cash flow statements, according to Al-Majid 2019, the overall net increase and the decrease in the firm's cash is shown by the statement of cash flow. For the assessment of the firm's ability of generating positive future cash flow, fulfillment of obligations for debt repayment, cash flows are required by the investors. The performance of the company over the period is shown from the cash flow and the income statement. However, there is always a variation in the cash that is explained by the cash flow. Franco 2011, it explained how the starting period cash has turned into the closing period cash by differentiating between activities like operating, investing, and financials. Sales presentations are one of the major elements as well over the period that that is shown in the income statement, expenditures, and the net income. The basis for the net income is the principle of accounting, giving rules for the recognition time of expense and revenue. The net income is not reduced when the dividend is paid off. Over the period of variation in retained earning are not shown by the income statement as stated by Robin in 2020. Usefulness of income and cash flow statements. There are many different things that have gone through in the literature by Gibson 2012. However, I feel there are few of the things that plays major role. That is for managers and owners, as they need the income and cash flow statement for the purpose of making significant decisions of the business affecting its operations. For employers in making collective bargaining agreements, CBAs, with the management, employers also demand for these reports in case for individual in discussing their ranking, compensation, and promotion, as well as in the labor unions. For the assessment of viability of investing in an entity, statement like income and cash flows are used by the investors. So investors basically use the financial analysis and prepare that are prepared by the professionals, and then they work on it, make necessary, look at the trends and do necessary financial decisions for investment. Entities like government, for tax authorities need, need the income and the cash flow statements to ensure that their assets and tax accuracy are always there, and whatever they declare and that should be paid on timely matter. For the assessment of credit worthiness of any entity or any supplier are also shown in on this statement too. Part B, major sources and uses of cash. So BHP Limited earns its revenue by producing raw material like natural gas, ethane, copper, nickel, iron ore, crude oil, energy coal, propane, and metallurgical coal and butane. These are basically considered the significant of modern life, and BHP has earned a good revenue of 44.28 million in 2019. In 2018, 129 million, and in 2017 it earned 35,740 million. And the cash used by BHP Limited was to perform its day-to-day operations. The cash earned uh, by Santos and Fantastic Limited was through the sale of its goods, commissions, and interest income. However, if we go into more details and look at the trends in the cash flow, BHP, the company, showed the net cash flow of the operations in 2019 to be 17,397 million, in 2018 17,561 million, and 2017 was 15,876 million, and the investing cash flows were 7,377 in 2019, 5,060 in 2018, and in 2017, 3,732 million. The company, though, faced a negative investing cash flow from last three consecutive years, or all the three that we are discussing, 2018, 17, 18, and 19. While the financing cash flow were 20,515 million in 2019, 10,891 million in 2018. In 2017 were 9,133 million. BHP Limited, basically they faced increment in its financial cash flow due to increase in the amount of dividend from 2017 to 2019. Santos, the company showed the net cash flow from operations in 2019 as to 2,046 million. 2018 as 1,578 million, 1,248 in 2017. The increase was enabled by the company to not to take much debt, as it can be seen from the net debt of the company. And the investing cash flow were 1,033 million in 2019, 2,373 million in 2018, and 534 million in 2017. The company also faced negative investing cash flow in 3 consecutive years. However, due to low subsidies in 2019, the negative balance came as below. The financing cash flow were 1,251 in 2019, 890 million in 2018, 1,518 million in 2017. The amount of the dividend by Santos in 2019 as compared to 2018 was larger due to the repayments of the loan by the company, and hence there was a negative balance in 2019. Fantastic Limited, the company showed the net cash flow from operations in 2019 as 8,030 million. In 2018, 10,182 million, and 2,750 million in 2017. The investing cash flows were 152 million in 2019, 298 in 2018. The company had faced negative investing cash flows from 3 consecutive years. However, with the passage of time, the company improved their investing net cash flow, while the financing cash flow were 7,928 million in 2019, 10,547 million in 2018, and 989 million in 2017. Fantastic Limited basically faced a decrease in its financial cash flow due to increase in the cost of issue of shares in 2018 till 2019, as reported in Fantastic Limited 2019. BHP Limited, like we'll now discuss the enough cash from the operations. So BHP Limited generated 23,428 million in 2019 from its operations, 22,949 million in 2018. In 2017, it earned 18,612 million from its operations. As compared to the year 2018, Santos Limited produced 4,300 million in 2019, 373 million greater than 2018, which was basically indicating that the company now produce enough cash from its operations to cover its daily as well as capital expenditures. Fantastic faced serious problems in the last 3 consecutive years, and the revenue that was shown in the financial statement of the company were generated from the sale of goods were 33,538 million in 2019, 45,689 million in 2018. This was basically not considered as enough cash. However, the trend was declining rather than increasing in Fantastic in 2018 as well. Coverage of the dividend payment. BHP Limited paid the dividend for 3 consecutive years from its retained earning, as mentioned in the BHP Limited 2019 report as well. Santos Limited paid the dividends from 3 consecutive years from its retained earning as well. However, for Fantastic Limited, no dividends were paid at all. As we can see in Fantastic, in 2018 and 19, there were no dividends that were being paid. Usage of the working capital. Working capital is basically something that is used by the company in day-to-day transaction. However, it was also used in payment of current liabilities by the amount of current assets as well. Let's look at the details of the excess cash from the operations. So, as far as BHP is concerned, the company produced excess cash of 16,1143 million in 2019. 15,996 million in 2018, 12,554 million in 2017. However, this excess amount was used by the company in the payment of the finance cost. For Santos Limited, the company generated excess cash in 2019. However, it had not taken heavy amount of debts in the same year, and the large amount of the loan was paid by the company for the excess cash, as also mentioned in Santos Limited 2019 report. Fantastic Limited, there was no excess cash earned by the company. In fact, the company had not a sufficient cash to pay off its debt and managed its day-to-day operation. Items that affected the cash flow were the payment of tax, interest, loss, gain on disposal of investment or any other assets, purchase of capital expenditure during the year, proceeds on assets sold, and and the operations and subsidies, expenditures for exploration, proceeds from the loan, receipts and payments of the dividends, cost of finance as mentioned in use at all 2020. So these are all the general things that affects the cash flow. Let's look what affected actually in the cash flows. So in case of BHP Limited, the items that affected the cash flow included large amount of payments of tax that decreased the net operating cash flow by 0.6 million in 2019, whereas the investment made by the company in 2019 in MacDoc Phase 2, South Flank, and the option of Spence growth, the net proceeds gain from any disinvestment affected the investing cash flow of the company and hence increased it by 0.2 billion in 2019 and compared to 2018. However, an increase was also observed in 2019 by 9.6 billion, and Santos Limited cash flow were affected by the payments of 1,892 million to the suppliers in 2019, 1,816 in 2018, and 1,611 in 2017 of oil and gas assets payments were 490 million dollars in 2019, 619 in 2018, and 483 in 2017. Exploration and evaluation assets were for $222 million dollars in 2019. Acquisition of subsidy were 1,933 million in 2018. Repayment of borrowing were 1,474 in 2019, 2,442 million in 2017. Fantastic Limited cash flow were affected by purchase of PPE in 2017 and the payment to supplier in 2017, 2018, and 2019. So the trends in the capital expenditure of BHP were in 2019 was 7,123 million. In 2018 were 5,853 million, and in 2017 were 4,663 million. For Santos, it was 1,187 million in 2019, which included the cost of acquisition of 675 million, successful exploration of wells were 440 million, and pending determination of success was 72 million, whereas the capital expenditure was 981 million in 2018, which consisted the cost of acquisition as well. So these were all the cost as we can see here. For Fantastic, no new assets was bought by the company because it had a bad progress. Only the assets were disposed of by the company to generate cash. In 2018, the company had 156 million PPE, and in 2019 it was decreased to 40 million. In 2017, paid 888 million dollars for purchase of PPE and 540 million for intangible assets. For the trends in dividends in 2017, BHP paid the dividend 2,871 from its retained earning, while in 2018, 5,221 million, same from the retained earning, and 2019 were 11,302 million. This was basically paid to the shareholders through all retained earning account. Hence, there is a difference between the paid dividend in the statement of the cash flow and during the year the dividend paid because of foreign exchange gain and the losses. So Santos paid the dividend for the last 3 years from its accumulated profit. However, Fantastic Limited did not pay any kind of dividends. Trends in net borrowing at the year end, BHP Limited had the interest bearing liability of 23,167 million in 2019, 24,069 million in 2018. Further, the company also had in 2019 other financial liabilities of 896 million dollars in 2019 and 1,093 million in 2018. Santos Limited, the company borrowed 783 in 2017. In 2018, it took 1,193 million dollars. Sorry. And in 2019, 592 were taken out as a long-term loan. So Fantastic Limited has increased its liability by taking more and more loans. In fact, the company was given debt forgiveness by its creditors and National Australian Bank, which made its interest-bearing liability from 2,189 to 1,657 million in 2019. And in 2017, the company borrowed 3,647 million in 2017. But BHP Limited report 2018 shows this. So there were different trends in the working capital accounts as well, which we have discussed priorly as well. So the total current assets were 23,373 of BHP Limited, while in 2018 it was 35,130 million. This decrease in the value of the current assets was due to the decrease in other financial assets of the company, whereas the company's current liability in 2019 was 12,339 and in 2018 it was 13,989. The current assets and the liabilities of both the years represent that the company had the sufficient current assets to pay off its debt. It possessed strong liquidity position as written in the report of BHP Limited 2019. The financial strength of the company. So the financial strength of the company basically in generally depends on the variety of the factors, like how much the company has the available cash, what is the EPS of the company, the share price, as well as the ratio like liquidity ratio, capital earnings ratio, and many others can also be used in analyzing the financial position of the company as written by Yiping 2010. So let's look at the real factors that we had for these three companies. So for BHP Limited, the information collected above was analyzed as a financial strength. However, in 2019, the company had the gearing ratio of 15.1% in 2019, 15.3% in 2018. all the liabilities which were paid by the company, and there was no default on its behalf. That means the company was financially very strong in 2019. As for Santos Limited, the financial overview of the company was analyzed, and it was shown that there was an increase in the sale volume in 2019, to increase its production from 59.5 million to 75.5 mmboe from 2017 to 2019, as well as a small increment can also be seen from the free cash flow, which was 1006 in 2018 and increased to 1138 in 2019. The net profit after tax was $630 million in 2018, which increased to 674 million in 2019. Also, the company now became able to manage its most operations with its own generating cash. That is why there is a minor decrease in the net debt of the company, which was 3,549 million in 2018, which went down to 3,325 in 2019, as mentioned in the Central's report as well. For Fantastic Limited, the position of the company seemed not to be good, as the profit of the company was 28,528 million in 2018, and in 2019 it decreased to 7,596, which is a drastic downfall, and also affected the EPS of the company, which was 32.60 in 2018 and decreased to 3.60 in 2019. The trade payables were 3,748 million in 2018, 3,370 in 2019. That demonstrates that the company did not pay to its creditors significant amount because of low profits and cash. In fact, the company account in 2019 was prepared historical and not on normal basis, considering the going concern in the indicators that was except for the derivative financial instrument that had measured at a fair value, as written in Fantastic Limited report. Evaluation of the learning for lending purposes, after looking at all the statements of all the companies. So the evaluation and the financial analysis that I've done shows that the net cash flow, the operational net cash flow, and the profit, liquidity, gearing, and EPS of all the three companies were analyzed, and it was concluded that BHP Limited are more consistent and strong, having greater EPS, profit, cash generated from operations as compared to other companies. Sorry. However, Santos Limited, if made tremendous progress in its cash generation, will also become able to lend to others. So, in conclusion, after analysis demonstrated that the cash flow statement are basically the main statement that helps not only the management but also the company in taking its decisions. The company's capability of payment of dividend and the earning from operations are analyzed by the investors with the help of the income statement. So, hence, to invest more to the company, all these statements are considered as a basis of the investors' decisions. So this was the presentation. The references were taken. These are the list of the references that I have added in, and I have sorry, I have referred to. That is Biddle CG and Choi, 26, Al Majid, Gibson, financial reporting and analysis, Robinson TR, international financial statement analysis by John Williamsons, uh, Youths, 2010 cash flow, the gap between the reported and the estimated operating cash flow, Australian accounting and business finance, Yiping, and then we were asked to download the three companies' income statements. So these were the links from where I've downloaded all the resources. So these are more of the things. So fantastic, Santos and BHP. So this was all. I hope you liked it, and I would at the end I would like to thank Dr. Khokan Bepari for his thorough and clear understanding of the subject. I'm very thankful to you, sir. Uh, Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.